We begin today's wrestling news and rumors video with a wild rumor regarding the now former World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso coming out of last night's episode of Raw. As most of you are likely aware, Jey Uso shockingly ended up losing his world title to Gunther on Raw last night, with Gunther putting an end to what many fans have dubbed as being a very underwhelming title reign, with Jey's run as champion lasting a little under 2 months. Clearly, Triple H and other WWE officials have changed their minds when it comes to pushing Jey Uso as a main event level talent, with a lot of fans feeling as though Jey was one of the worst WWE World Champions in recent memory, and there has actually been a wild rumor being spread the past few hours regarding Jey Uso being released from WWE after his title loss to Gunther on Raw, but we can put that rumor to rest. While Jey Uso's run as world champion was less than stellar overall, and being booked to lose the championship on an episode of Raw seemingly out of nowhere is never a great sign. When it comes to a superstar standing with upper WWE management, we can confidently say that there is no chance that Jey Uso has legitimately been released from WWE following the loss to Gunther on Raw. That would make absolutely no sense for WWE to do that, especially after all the backlash the company had just received for releasing R-Truth, a decision that was later reconsidered by WWE due to the outrage from the wrestling community, with R-Truth returning at Money in the Bank, and there's no way that the company would release another fan favorite like Jey Uso out of the blue like that again anytime soon, so the chances of Jey being done in WWE following the title loss to Gunther are slim to none. While Triple H and WWE have likely realized that pushing Jey Uso as a main event level talent was a mistake, due to the fact Jey doesn't have the mic skills or in-ring ability to convincingly be a top champion in WWE. There's no doubt a superstar as popular as Jey Uso still has his place in WWE and should definitely not be released. The only reason that Jey Uso has been receiving any kind of backlash from fans at all recently is because of how hard WWE were pushing him. If Jey Uso was having another run as Intercontinental Champion, there certainly would not be the same level of criticism from fans. Jey Uso is one of the most popular stars in WWE, but that doesn't mean fans want to see him as the world champion, as being in that top spot highlights a lot of Jey's weaknesses that otherwise aren't shown when he's not the top guy. There's no doubt that Jey Uso is much better suited in the mid-card, and Jey will likely join the ranks of former one-time WWE champions like Kofi Kingston, Big E, Jinder Mahal, and Finn, where Jey probably won't ever win another world title, but will still be a fixture in WWE for years to come in the upper mid-card, as he should. Just because Jey Uso didn't exactly work out as being a world champion, that certainly doesn't mean that Jey should be released. Instead, Jey should be getting put back in the position on the card that he had prior to winning the Royal Rumble, a guy mainly featured in the mid-card but can get the occasional main event spot or a filler world title match depending on the landscape of the title scene at the time. That's the role that Jey thrives in, and no doubt Jey's run in WWE is far from being over. He's one of the top merchandise sellers, and that will likely continue even if his push is toned down, because he will still have his electric entrance and catchphrase. He just won't be the top champion on Raw, which he honestly never should have been. It was an experiment on WWE's part to push Jey Uso that ultimately didn't work out, but again, it would be absolutely insane for Triple H and WWE to release him, so we don't put any stock in that rumor going around whatsoever. Now, is Jey Uso's time as a main eventer done? Quite possibly, but Jey's well liked behind the scenes and is a fan favorite, and we think it's safe to say that WWE have learned their lesson when it comes to releasing fan favorites, especially ones just coming out of major programs like R-Truth was with John Cena, so there's no chance WWE are going to repeat that same mistake with Jey Uso, especially this soon. So for any fans worried about Jey's status with WWE, don't be, as he's not going anywhere anytime soon. In fact, it's likely Jey will be getting a rematch with Gunther for the World Heavyweight title at Night of Champions later this month, so his demotion down the card won't be instantaneous and will be done as naturally as possible. So once Gunther defeats Jey in the rematch at Night of Champions, that's likely when Jey will move on to different feuds in the mid-card, possibly vying to regain the Intercontinental Championship this summer. To be honest, we wouldn't even complain if WWE had Jey take a bit of a break from being a solo wrestler and teams up with his brother Jimmy again, as the Usos reuniting would breathe new life into the tag team division, which definitely needs it at this point on Raw and SmackDown. We wouldn't be surprised if Jey actually wants a break from being a solo wrestler, because you could tell that Jey was really starting to crack under the pressure of being the top champion on Raw. That was uncharted territory for Jey, and he definitely wasn't ready for it, so a reunion with Jimmy Uso is likely something that appeals to Jey, as he would have the opportunity to take a bit of a break from the spotlight, and will allow for him to get back to what brought him to the dance in WWE, which is his iconic tag team with Jimmy. Regardless, with all that being said, let us know your thoughts on Gunther dethroning Jey Uso of the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw yesterday, and do you feel like Jey is better suited in the mid-card title scene as opposed to being presented as a top world champion, or did you actually enjoy Jey's run with the World Heavyweight title and hopes he reclaims the belt the next time he faces Gunther? Sound off in the comment section below. Last night on Monday Night Raw, R-Truth made a special appearance, and while Truth's segment on Raw only lasted for a few minutes, it was one of the most impactful and well-done promos we've seen in WWE in years. R-Truth once again showcased why he's a generational talent in WWE, because no matter what he's given by creative to work with, Truth always knocks it out of the park and delivers, and his promo on Raw last night was no exception. Now, what most fans are talking about regarding R-Truth's promo on Raw is the fact that Truth shockingly took out a pair of scissors when he was addressing those who think he's nothing more than a sideshow act or a gimmick, with R-Truth cutting his hair, declaring himself moving forward as Ron Killings, not R-Truth. As expected, many wrestling fans are now asking the question, well, why did R-Truth have to cut his hair like that? Thankfully, we have the answers you're looking for. The sentiment right now is that Triple H and WWE re-signing R-Truth to a big money contract means that fans are going to be seeing something much different from R-Truth moving forward. Gone is the comedic act or gimmick, and what fans are going to be seeing from R-Truth moving forward is a much more intense, focused, and dangerous version of R-Truth, as the name R-Truth doesn't exist anymore. He is now Ron Killings. The rumor going around is that after WWE had realized how big of a star R-Truth is, given how insanely viral his release was, Hunter decided right then and there to not only bring R-Truth back and sign him to a big money contract, but that he would give the fans what they want and actually push R-Truth. The WWE weren't going to bring Truth back and sign him to a new big money deal if he was just going to be a comic relief act moving forward. Instead, the consensus is that WWE are going to be pushing Ron Killings very hard going forward, and there's reportedly consideration over Ron potentially being the one to dethrone John Cena of the Undisputed Championship. That's why R-Truth cut his hair on Raw last night. This was done as a signal that the fun-loving comic relief version of R-Truth is gone, and the version that fans will be seeing from now on is a legitimate threat to John Cena's title reign. In a sense, a monster has been created.